Okay, fine afternoon. Fine afternoon, everybody. In the today's class of non-destructive evolution, we'll be discussing regarding the eddy current testing processes. In the second unit, we're having two different topics. And the initial topic it is liquid penetrant test, and the second topic it is eddy current testing process. So, what is meant by eddy current test? How it is being accessing, and based upon this, how we will be analyzing the defects existing within the objects and to how much speed it is being identified, whether the internal structures of the materials also can be identified or only it is limited to the surface level finishings identification, as we have been verified with respect to the liquid penetrant testing process. So what are the inputs need to be given for the equipment and design criteria of this equipment, maximum electrical capability as an input, and internally generating impedance or EMF upon mutual inductance and varying its field to be circulated throughout the inducting capability, and its variance can be observed in the form of action. There's an identification of the defects within the material and how the process will be commenced, what are the required equipments for processing this testing methodology. We'll be having a detailed look here. Coming to the introductory point, these electrical currents that are conducting within the material by the external source, that is an application of the magnetic field. These currents which are being elevated as an AC source providing from the testimonial, that's an from the input side, and that is within the rotating elements such as the armature that cuts the magnetic fields and generates the EMF, and that EMF which is generating will be having its potentiality to a maximum extent, and how far the field is being energizing by the generated EMF will identify the defects within the materials upon its field occupancy. And most probably, this is also made the testing process exercising similarly to the liquid penetrant testing process. That is, but with some extension to the liquid penetrant testing process. In that process, we have been observed that only the surface finishings will be identified, that too limiting to a slice levels, that is a small thickness, a gauge length we will be calling. And this eddy current testing, which is having the highest frequency than when compared to the LP technique, liquid penetrant technique, will be increasing its thickness of measuring. That is towards 2 slices or 3 slices. Below towards the surface level. So nothing but the gauge length will be increasing furtherly than we have been observed in the LP technique. Hence, if the magnetic field that has been generated by the induced currents as an input, the generated eddy currents will be passed throughout the material up to its field strength existing by the eddy currents. That will cause the imperfections in its frequency variations when we have been observed in the oscilloscope. At where the frequency levels are being commencing intermittently, nothing but causing the imperfections or dimensional changes or changes in the material's conductivity or permeability properties will be detected due to that variance which are being displayed on the oscilloscope with the proper channel that has been connected with respect to the equipment, operating equipment. So that is the actual methodology related to this eddy current testing process commencement. So what are the required sources for commencement of this testing process? In the sense, first one is eddy current test. It can be done on all electrically conducting materials with a reasonably smooth surface and non-even spaces or the random agitation spaces of surface finishings cannot be identified or progressed in this eddy current testing process. The surface finishing should be smooth, which will be sensible with our naked eye. Nothing but for our visual inspection, the surface should be sensed as a smooth surface finishing. And hence the test equipment consists an AC power supply, generator, AC generator, a test foil and recording equipment. And this recording equipment or displaying equipment is nothing but the oscilloscope, just we have been discussed. And even in the place of this oscilloscope, galvanometer also can be utilized. And these for the devices which give the analog output, but can be monitored related to the recent or new technological equipment such as digital analysis, acquiring systems also. Nothing but the LED panels, the 7-segmental displays in order to display its source by the combination of the electrical unit or transformable units by the involvement of a number of transducers for converting the analog signals to the digital display. And hence LEDs, LCDs also plays a major important role by the transferable sensors such as transducers in order to convert this analog signal to the digital signal and giving the accurate results to which the field is getting varied. And most probably the ZD current test give the best results when compared to the LP technique, liquid penetrant testing process. It's an superior to the LP technique, we can say, which is used to find this crack detection. Even the material thickness measurement also can be identified to how far this corrosion test detection is can be carried. Nothing but upon the oxidation process, to how far this corrosion takes place on the surface of the materials can be examined clearly without destructing or destroying or causing inconvenience to the internal layer of the actual material. So after the immediate passage of the corrosion, the material specimen original dimensions can be identified, and sorting of the materials upon identification of its similarity and its variance due to the variance can be taken to a group of segments, and slice levels can be measured to which the nano coatings has been existing, or micro coatings are being done, or macro coatings are being done. So macro coating in the sense we can feel with our touch offense, or else due to the visual inspection also. Nothing but considering the best example of plastering, we are utilizing our plaster or else our screen guard on the mobiles. There's some slight thickness gauge length we'll be saying, and slice, or else we will be calling a slice, and that is visible to us. But a coating of painting spray on a material, it cannot be visible to our naked eye. The thickness or gauge length of that particular layer cannot be visualized to our naked eye. So the identification to the visual contrast, we can say that it's an macro, and the paintings to the wall, it will be coming as in small slices, and that also can be examined, that is called micro. Nano range of painting, nano slices cannot be visible to our naked eye, have to be examined by the utilizing an instrument, that is microscopes, different kinds of microscopes, XRDs, etc. And even the eddy current testing process, upon its frequency variations, different kinds of metals also can be detected, to which family it belongs to based upon its mechanical properties and its operating parameters. Coming to the basic principle of this eddy current testing process, that a magnetic coil will be given, and the input of AC power supply is passes through the test of that particular coil as a primary magnetic field that is set around towards the coil from the input AC power supply, and beyond that the AC primary field induces the eddy currents due to its mutual inductance toward in the secondary coil, and here the secondary coil relates with respect to the polarity changes towards the material and the induced EMF as an AC source. And due to the variations of its polarities, the eddy currents will be produced, by which the AC power supply is exhibiting its energy from the primary magnetic field, a primary coil. And the specimen which we need to measure is nothing but the secondary magnetic field that is being generating depending upon its field variations, polarities variations. And hence, the opposite polarities leads to generation of the EMF, and the generated EMF will be having its field to a particular area of strength for it is being surrounded. That's the actual principle. The generated magnetic field around that particular material will be coming under the inspecting area, and wherever we need to measure, and hence this particular primary coil will be carrying to that particular space and will be examining the entire surface finishing based on the production of eddy currents. So here mutual inductance plays a major role. So without this concept of this mutual inductance, the process will not be commencing into the live action. The mutual inductance is the base for this eddy current inspection. That we all aware that the magnetic field which is produced by this circuit number 1, which is displaying in the diagram below, AC power supply given with respect to resistance R1, and this is the inductor coil, which will intersect the wire in the circuit number 2 and create the flow of current. The induced current will interact with respect to the magnetic field existing in the circuit number 1. So the magnetic field consists of a part, that is I1, which is passing towards the R1, resistance 1, and even the that due to the implication of this I2 from the part 2, it's displayed here, part 2 I2, and this is the I1, which is externally given source from the AC power supply. It's an external source passing through, and the inductance creates generating of this EMF, the generated EMF that is driven with identification of I2 towards this resistance. And these two fields are proportional to the currents producing and generation of the flux in two different orientations, that is of the base part 1 and baseline segment 2. Considering yes, and B1 L1 I1 plus I2M, it clearly specifies that L1 and L2 are the self-inductance of each of the coils existing in the pictorial representations, and M is the mutual inductance of two circuits that is existing. Actually, there will be a line parallel representation here. It depends on the geometrical arrangement. If the field length is being varied and highest EMF will be getting generated, if the coils, primary and secondary coils are got with respect got very much near in connectivity, it will be generating the less EMF. Let's move on to the principle of eddy current testing. How the induced eddy currents, whether the induced eddy currents are having the basic strength indeed to examine the entire surface finishing, and to how far the maximum thickness it can be examined will be having a detailed look. The strength of the secondary field depends on the electrical and magnetic properties of the material. If there is any cracks are identified, and these eddy currents which are created or produced from the secondary coil and the field that is being varying by these produced currents will be examined throughout its circumference, that it will be displaying when the reluctance or receiver which is connected to the oscilloscope will be displayed with an intermittent of connectivity on the surface finishing observation. And hence, to get that feedback, even this is circuit of Wheatstone bridge concept, we have visualized this in our ICS laboratory also, and even in the mechatronics laboratory. There is LVDT connectivity and this strain gauge equipment. It's a similar connectivity, which gives the feedback to the primary coil, and what are the results that has been observed depending upon the AC current produced from the primary coil to the secondary coil induced eddy currents, and examining those in within the projected area, and the results will be fed to the sine wave or square wave representations in our oscilloscope. Hence, the variations which are being identified can be altered in the case of this oscilloscope's representations. For example, if there is any finishing, a perfect finishing or smooth finishing area, then obviously the generated wave representations will be similar in its fluctuation. There will not be any crust or troughs occurrence in its representations. So there will not be any crusts and troughs deviations in the observations, or that will be calling as the frequency levels, as a zero frequency level and as an upper frequency level and lower frequency level. So the sine wave representations or square wave representations will be progressing so on. If there is any crack identified, obviously there will be an intermittent connectivity or destruction existing within the square wave that clearly represents on the oscilloscope. And this is the equipment or the instruments necessary for examining and how the field will be getting varied, and the receptor connectivity to the voltmeter, how how much of voltage does the induced EMF belongs to, and examining the internal or depth of the material to which its gauge length is existing. And hence this is the primary coil and the coil magnetic field that is being inducing, and voltmeter for identification of the produced currents based upon the input AC power supply within the primary coil and the testing material, and the eddy currents which are being produced the magnetic field, and these are the eddy currents produced, and this is the magnetic field generating for the produced eddy currents, and this is the conductive material. So how much will be the, initially we have raised a question that to how far this test can be exercised. So how much depth of penetration, nothing but how much gauge length, up to which gauge length this depth can be examined. Basically, eddy currents or closed loops which the current is induced and circulating in the planes perpendicular to its magnetic field, obviously in the direction of perpendicular where the field will be getting generated, as in the diagram it clearly specifies. Coming to its winding, if the conducting material acceptance is being increased from the input acceptors based upon the AC power supply towards the primary coil, obviously the induced EMF or eddy currents will be increased with accordance to the AC power supply that is being produced, and it creates a high field strength existing among the surface area, nothing but the examining area, particularly the primary coil, and this will be field, the magnetic field generated by the produced eddy currents, and the field strength will be very much increasing. So the increasing will be occurred due to the input acceptance of the AC power supply, and the excitation takes place within the coil. Basically, this effect is called a skin effect. Skin effect. And if the intensity factor or excitation levels has been increased, obviously the capacity of projection or developing of this magnetic field also spread in its widening. And even the materials which to be examined also should be the electrically conductive materials. You're having some of the materials which doesn't allow the electricity, basically such as our carpentry devices, wood, and some a reflector of polymers, reflection of ceramics will not accept this electrical power supply, and the natural materials such as bamboos related to the wood, carpentry source, clay, bricks, composition of some of the materials such as silica and cement. These are the materials which doesn't accept the electrical conductivity towards it. These cannot be utilized in the inspection process, and hence for the conductive materials, the depth of eddy current density can be increased at rate of 37% to a maximum of its surface density. That is called depth of the penetration. So here the penetration is nothing but the area throughout its field generation or the identification is getting progressing on the material. And at the spot actions, the depth will be causing very much in superior agitation where the spot alert of AC current is being existing. Nothing but this is the coil existing over here, and the spot engagement of the eddy current produces. So eddy current will be produced throughout it, and its field length will be getting varied. And LED in the diagram, it's clearly showing that its LED current density, nothing but the field varying density to a maximum level, but the depth of penetration will be progressed only focused to only at the AC current induction area, only at the induction area. So nothing but mutual induction taking place here, and this then one polarity source and this is the second polarity source. EMF will be produced, and the contact of production area or produced area will be having the superiority in nature for finding the maximum capacity or maximum penetrant area in the case of this eddy current testing process. And the divergence also can be taken place from a maximum to an 37% of surface density. So overall this is the surface density, and throughout this a maximum of 37% of its widening or its density only can be examined. So that is the point to the depth of its penetration. So indeed, to examine this, there are three different devices which are widely utilized for examining. We'll be calling as an probes or electrode accepting devices. So the test coils such as the surface probe, internal bobbin probe, and encircling probes. So the surface probe, which will be examining only at the pointal variations, and the internal bore probe, which can passes through the diametrical sources or boring activities, different boring activities. Internally, the boring activity has been done in a perfect or smooth finishing or not, that can be examined clearly. And furtherly, if there is any deviations to how much deviations has been existing can be examined clearly. The normal thickness of this internal bore diameter and outer bore diameter will be specified, and the thickness need to be a similar each and everywhere, and the variance where here being occurring, that will be clearly examined, and how much depth of penetrant it is being existing. The geometrical specifications of the identified cracks or destruction of this laminate position can be identified very much clearly in the case of this slotting actions or internal bore actions. Third one, it is the encircling probe. So the encircling probe here plays a major role that it overcarry the another material or upon submerging internal material. Nothing but how much electricity is being passing in a wire can be examined clearly by our radiographic technology process also. And conducting material is one, insulating material is one, and internally having material is one. Nothing but our copper, which is insulated with respect to an rubber. Like that, the encircling probe, to which the two different layers are occurring simultaneously, two different processes, such as this process in our mechanical equipments in an recyclations or reboilering situations, we will be utilizing this, and for cooling activities also even. See here, this is the one diametrical source and this is the another diametrical source, and the material which is passing through this is one and through this is another. Nothing but the steam which is passing towards this internal tube, let's consider this an internal tube, will be of a temperature 350 degrees centigrades, and it should be limited to 300. So hence, upon insulating towards this material, the cool water will be supplied in an opposite direction. So the steam will be flowing in this direction, and the cool water will be flowing in opposite direction, that is surrounding to its tube. And hence, at limits to which it has to be limited, the temperature of negative range will be passing through the external surrounding encircling probe. So in such a way, this is a best example towards it. And the currents will be produced over that And this is one type of probe will be examined both the actions that are being taken place that in internally and the surrounding object also as well. So these are the three different types of probes which results in its impedance due to the variation of the resistances at different levels or different thickness containing materials and the inductive reactance taking place. So in the normal atmospheric conditions or air oriented magnetic or non-magnetic due to the magnetic or non-magnetic inducements for the steel products in the sense the ferrous content of materials and non-ferrous content of materials such as aluminum, magnesium, zinc, molybdenum, etc., titanium. These are the primitive most materials which are placing a major role in the preparation of n number of parts both in aviation technology and automobile technology. So our basic point here is to examine its status of action. For this, the diagram is very much useful for us, such as to which material the entire this setup eddy current testing processes varying towards the above gradient and highest magnetic field generating sources. What are the materials will be coming under the magnetic field excitation sources? Here we are having a clear-cut representation. The magnetic field will be getting varied only for the ferrous content of materials such as steels and the combination of steels or the composition of the ferrous materials that will lift off and permeability, maximum generation of permeability, and the conductivity will be taking place. Here in the case of this, these are the lift-off conditions because these are light-weighted containing materials to which the magnetic field strength cannot be varied. And hence the conductivity will be taking place and directly the cranks will be getting identified upon its resistance and inductive reactance. So these are the variation of the materials in the case of this current testing process. The process and its advantages we'll be discussing in the next class. I think the time has been concluded.